I'm going to show you how to make this really quick, easy, and simple winter beret. It's all made out of scrap leftover fabric and accented with a beautiful rosette. You know I love rosettes, so I'm going to show you how to make this. To make our beret, to start with, I'm using a leftover piece of fabric from a project I had, and the fabric stretches. Now I've already decided for my beret, my band will be 21 inches, and what you'll do is you want to measure where the band will sit on your head, and this is what you want to measure. And I like to make it about a ½ inch to an inch smaller than the measurement so that it will stretch around your head. And then I want my circle to be 14 inches squared. When you're cutting your circle, as you found out before, when you want a 14-inch circumference, you want the center portion from the center to the end to be half of the 14, so it will be 7 inches, or from one end to the other with the circle stretched out, it will be 14 inches. So what I'm going to do, since I've got two pieces of my fabric is pretty big, so I'm going to split my fabric right down the middle, because I can probably use that scrap fabric for something else so that I'm not wasting it on two berets when I only want one. Okay, so I'm going to work with the one piece, and what I'm going to do, as you noticed in my video how to cut a circle skirt, just pretend you're cutting a really small skirt, but the same concept. So I folded it in half, and now I'm going to fold it in half again. So now I have 4 pieces on top of each other. I'm going to mark my 7 inches for my circle. So I'm going to mark 7 inches here. Put the measuring tape in the middle and mark 7 inches there. There is my circle, my 7 inches. Now that my circle is marked, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out my circle. Okay, so now you see when you open that out, see, you have a perfect circle. And now if you measure from one side of the circle to the other, you get 14 inches in any direction. 14 inches, so you know that your circle is correct. Now that's done. So I'm going to take the leftover fabric and I'm going to cut out my band. Okay, so now we're going to cut out the band, and I want my band, I want a nice thick band, so I think I'm going to do like an 1.5 inch band. So I'm going to cut it like 2.25 inches. As you see, I'm folding this over in half, and I'm going to square it up because it's not quite even. Okay, so that's pretty square. And now I'm going to measure 2.5 inches. So I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to cut. So in actuality, I'm cutting 5 inches. So that gave me the 5 inches. So now we've got the band. So now it'll be a matter of turning that in, and we're going to attach it to our circle. Now we're ready to sew our gathers on our circle. But before we do, take your circle and fold it back into 4s. You're going to fold it back into 4s. And what you're going to do when you fold it back into 4s, you're going to take the corners here and you're going to snip those, and we're going to also snip these. Okay, so now we got 4 snips. You got 2 right here, and then you got 1 on each end, so you got a total of 4 snips. So for starters, what you're going to do is you're going to sew a 5/8 inch seam allowance to close the band up. So I'm going to finger press it, and then when I finger press it, I'm going to fold it together in half. Now this is where we'll take the iron and we're going to press this down flat, because this is going to end up being our band. Now I've pressed my band. You see I got a nice crisp edge now. I wanted to show you on the band. See, my band still stretches. So now we're going to sew a gathering stitch around here, the circle. So I'm just going to do your traditional gathering stitch. Now what I'm going to do on my band, here is the back of the band where the seam came together. So I'm going to fold it in half so that I can mark the other side of the band. You notice it's folded in half. So I'm going to clip it. We clipped it just like we did the circle. Now I'm going to fold it in half, and where these join, I'm going to also clip them as well. And what these will do is they're going to act as darts. I'm going to pin. I'm going to match up all my little clips with the clips on the headband or the hat or the circle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to where I started my stitching, and I'm going to just pull the thread. And here, like I said, this is just your traditional pulling. You might want to do double stitches if you are concerned. Now we're going to pin the gathers. Now that I've got the gathers done evenly, I'm going to take pins and we're going to pin it in place. Now that you've got it all pinned in place, now you're going to simply stitch right in the same stitch where you gathered so that all your gathering stitches are covered. Okay, now that that's done, if you don't have a serger, you want to zigzag the edge of this, but since I have a serger, I'm going to serge the edge off. So now I've serged my end, so I'm going to flip it over. But as you see now, you've got the beret. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I want to add a little rose to mine. And I've made my rosette, so you can see some of my other videos where I've made my little rosettes. And I'm just going to take it and find the back. So here's the back, so I'm going to attach it to the side. So I'm going to sew that on now. And there you have your quick, simple, easy beret. And you're ready to weather the storm. I hope you try this project. Happy sewing!